And Justice reporter Paula Reid is in Washington on the very latest. The United States is trying to extradite El Chapo here. How long might that take?
Who knows, Contessa? Even though the Mexican government says that it will try to cooperate with the extradition request, it's not a done deal. The country previously said they'd only send El Chapo to the U.S. after he served his sentence in Mexico, so in 300 or 400 years. This is a legal process, and his lawyers have already said that they're going to try to block his extradition to Mexico. And while courts usually side with governments in extradition proceedings, it's a reasonable question in the country of Mexico to ask who has more pull, the government or the Sinaloa cartel. So we're still a long way off from an actual extradition. Lots of potential for delays here, lots of different players involved. And the longer that this is delayed, the more chance he has to escape. And when he does escape, Contessa, we know that he is, of course, the most well-funded fugitive on the planet.
I like how you just said when and not if on that point, Paula. When we're looking at extradition, if and when that happens, where would a trial take place and what charges would he face?
He faces a variety of charges in 6 different districts here in the U.S. Those charges range from money laundering, drug trafficking, homicide, and it would ultimately be up to Attorney General Loretta Lynch to decide which of those 6 districts actually gets the case. Now, most people agree that Chicago has the strongest claim and the strongest case against him, but the Attorney General will have to consider a lot of different things before deciding where he would potentially go, including the resources of that district, the experience of those prosecutors, and also security concerns for a case like this. Now, it's been a while since we've seen such a high-profile defendant coming in for another country, seeing districts fighting over a case. The last time was Ahmed Abu Khatallah, who's the suspect in the Benghazi terror attacks. That case ultimately went to Washington, but to much controversy, and Attorney General Eric Holder was criticized, but of course, by all the districts that didn't get the case. So it's a difficult decision ultimately for the Attorney General if he is extradited to the U.S.
What about Sean Penn? Did he break any laws by going and visiting with El Chapo?
I read the Rolling Stone article, and from what we know so far, it doesn't appear that he broke any U.S. laws. He wasn't providing him with any sort of money, any sort of cover, helping him in any way. It appears that he just went there on assignment to interview El Chapo. He's not under any duty to report him. So on this side of the border, it doesn't appear that he should be in any legal trouble. He could potentially be called as a witness, but it is unclear whether or not he could have potentially broken any laws in Mexico. If I were him, I would not travel to Mexico on business or vacation for quite a while.
Well, then that leads me to the Mexican actress who had facilitated that meeting. Is there any indication that she's in trouble with the law?
It appears she's certainly in trouble with the government and has been for quite some time. Based on her tweets, it appears that she was under surveillance, which could have potentially been part of why they found El Chapo. So if I were her, I would get a very strong defense team in place, because if there are any potential laws that she ran afoul of, it appears that the Mexican government will try to prosecute her to the fullest extent possible.
Or maybe she's going to try to flee to the United States to avoid prosecution in Mexico. Paula Reid, thank you very much.